And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final series of these two players here. Potentially the final series of the broadcast. We might have one more match after this, but we are nearing the end of Bracket D. We're nearing the end here, and we are featuring our top two players. This is what we've all been waiting for. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of Persephone, we have the Polish Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing his new team, ROC Esports. It is Spirit. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Canadian Protoss player, the Canadian Protoss himself, the Blue Protoss representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. Here we go. As we are settling in, and if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our PVT. Again, this is going to be a harder one to call. Both Trigger and Piotr, they are both world-class players. They're both deserving to be a part of the playoff brackets, but alas, at least for now, only enough room for one of them. Now, there is a lower bracket, so they have a safety net. You know, regardless of who wins and who loses, they will have another chance to make it through tomorrow. But alas, they want to make it here in the upper bracket. They want to be able to have the luxury, the leeway of making it through with a better seed, with less matches. So best of luck. So again, predictions, they should be closing up by the time this message hits you. So get your gamma going while you can. Here we go. Initially, economic opener. Racks expand here by Spirit, going for a single gas. So economic start out of our Terran player. Meanwhile, standard opener out of Trigger, going Gate, Cyber into Nexus. So far so good, nothing crazy, nothing too wild. Here we go. As we are going to be building up. Again, safety bunker on the low ground here, going for the initial bio opener. Likewise, we have our tech of choice from Trigger, going for his Twilight Council. Now, Trigger, for those who have been unaware, Trigger has been spending a lot of time in Korea. He's been in Korea since last year's EWC. He's been there for almost a year, if not a year at this point. A very, very long time. Finally, he's back in the Americas, at least, back from Korea. And Trigger has been spending a lot of time there. He's been improving a lot at the game. He's been improving a lot when it comes to his skill. His micro, his macro, he's been leveling up so much. Trigger even being a part of last season's GSL. And we'll see if he can go for a deep run here in that DreamHack as well. For now, denying mining. Does shade behind the mineral line. Likewise, does pull out. Does pull away. Just barely. Does shade out. Behind this, Spirit going for his own add-on swap. Just initially going for the Hellions. As they are being repaired before moving out. And just two Hellions, then into Marines, then into not drop play, but Raven Harass. Okay, so no mine drops whatsoever out of Spirit. But at least has a presence on the map. From the side of Trigger, we have our initial 2-gate blink opener. 2 gateways, Twilight Council, blink, no third gateway yet. And from here, we could just expand. Just play economically. I mean, again, Spirit, he isn't known for aggression. He isn't known for all-ins. He's not that kind of player. So Trigger can try to abuse that. Ooh, as he is going to be delayed. Base is delayed. Trigger does Fairies probe over. Third base now being taken. Spirit going for his own 3-1-1 setup, getting to his tank production and building up back at home, getting ready for the Stalker aggression. This is going to be earlier stim. Interesting. So earlier stim timing out of Spirit. We have seen a lot of Terran players as of late have been hyper aggressive. He cancels the tank, never mind. A little bit indecisive here, but Spirit, he wants none of the tank production. Across the map, yeah, he scouts. He scouts at third base. He knows that Stalker aggression isn't really coming his way. Spirit, he sees how greedy Trigger is being. So Spirit, he foregoes tanks. Again, you don't really want tanks unless 1, you're going for an all-in, or 2, you believe your opponent's going into like 3 or 4 gate Blink Stalker. We thought it was only 2 gateways. Only 2 gateways. Trigger is expanding, Trigger is taking up, Trigger is being more economic, so Spirit has no need for tanks. Spirit just building up his bio. Getting really early stem. Zooms on the way. Hellion pokes in. Ooh. Nice volley here on the probes. Gets 1, takes down 2 workers, but only 2. When it comes to Trigger's follow-up, this is a standard follow-up going into +1 in charge. Very often, at least in years past, it would often be Blink Stalker into Colossus production, but you are left vulnerable with Colossus. Again, they're quite isolated. There's only a handful of them. A lot of Terran players, they got used to punishing that kind of style and punishing that kind of build. So now it's more mainstream to go into charge first into delayed Colossus or delayed Storm, as charge will keep you safe. The Gateway Explosion and all those zealots keep you safe. They allow you to punish any kind of committed move out. Speaking of, Spirit does move out. So far unscattered. We knew those warp ins. Trigger, he's unaware. He misses the move out. Now rotating over. Trigger, he will come across this. Trigger, supply blocked. Oh, now's not the time. 3 pylons on the way. He gets caught out. Losing 1, losing just the 1. But again, he's not ready for this. Warping in 1 zealot. He's still supply blocked. There it is. Now breaks out. Zealot's not morphing in, but is it too late? As Spirit, he does push through. Takes out another Stalker. Trigger trying to buy time. Buying more time, dropping into the main. Does force the defensive warp in. Oh, nice mind connection, catching out 3 probes. Spirit getting some nice damage. Pulls away, pulls out. Pulls out of the main. Retreats through the center of the map. Trigger, he does hold, but he does sustain some damage. Does sustain some damage here, and Spirit should be expanding. There it is. 3rd CC's on the way. Trigger from here claiming a 3rd. Sorry, Spirit claiming a 3rd. Trigger looking to move out. As he's getting caught. So I'll take it into the middle line. They do get a mule. Not much more than that. Nice skin up here from Spirit. And Trigger is falling behind. He needs a 4th base. He needs a 4th base. He needs to tech up. Colossus are on the way. So far, Trigger just taking a lot of losses. He's not out of this yet. Just in a rough position. Spirit, he peels off again for another triple drop. And again, Spirit, he isn't going for these all-ins, but he's just getting damage over time. Just non-stop drop play here. We had the drop into the main earlier, move out through the center, now drop on the right-hand side. Trigger, he does not spot this. Being somewhat active with the army. We go, Dark Shrine is on the way. When behind? Dark Shrine. Let's go. Last Spirit already getting to Ghost, getting to Viking production. Spirit, he's hitting his stride. Does get a Ghost. Not bad. Still a run by. Takes down a Ghost. Ideally, Spirit wants to wait for a distraction before moving in. Does want to hold on. Spirit does drop in. Likewise, just trying to pull Trigger apart. Trigger once again supply blocked. Yeah, once again supply blocked. The base does go down. Massive pickup. Trigger getting torn apart. Spirit, oh, dropping into the natural. Gets caught out. Full medevac does fall. Likewise, Spirit dropping into the main as well. The drop play just continues. Non-stop drops here out of Spirit. And Trigger, he cannot keep up. Both players are supply blocked. But Trigger that much more worse off. Bleeding at the mineral line. And Spirit is not done. He wants a Colossus. He stims in. He gets one. Colossus goes down. He gets one. He gets both. Oh my god. Massive pickups. Trigger just torn apart left and right. Mineral line going down as well. Brutal mine shots. Spirit, he pulls out of the main. And Trigger, he plummets in supply. 118 supply left remaining. Take some more mine shots to the face. We have a couple of Novas left. A couple of Disruptors. Oh my god. But the Prism goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Everything just falling apart. Sure, we have some DTs coming in and they get some SCVs, but that's not good enough. 4 SCV kills. It is damage. But Spirit is about to max out. He's about to max out. 165 workers. Another DT waddles in, but there's a turret in position. DTs are not doing well enough. Spirit is pushing. Does push to the left hand side. Trigger, he has a couple of Novas remaining, so he does have a chance here to take a fight, but he has to rely on these Novas. So far, it doesn't connect. Zones away. 2 Novas left. Once again, no major connection. Down to 1 Nova. That's all he has left. And now Spirit, he can go in. He can dive. He stims, and he wins. Takes down the Disruptor. He gets 1. There's 2 left. Zelta can't quite connect. They can't commit. Oh, nice splits. Very nice splits. Spirit at the same time dropping in the right hand side as well. Takes down the entire mineral line. Trigger late to respond, late to react. GG gets called and Spirit takes game number 1. Whew, GG. A bit of a slower start here. A little bit of a slower start, but Spirit, once he got the ball rolling, he did not relent. He did not let up. Again, the drop play just never stopped for Spirit. And Trigger losing mineral line after mineral line, key units, Colossus, Disruptors, and yeah, with that he was torn apart. Very impressive play there by Spirit. Very impressive. And with that, Spirit takes a lead. Spirit does take a lead here, and we'll see if Trigger can bounce back and force the H match. The pressure is on as we load into ley lines. Here we go. See someone asking in the chats, is this live? Yes. There should have been a bot command responding to you, but we only ever, if we ever cast a replay, then it's usually in the title of the stream. It says replay cast. For example, the GSL coverage that we've been doing has been via replays, but the DreamHack broadcast here is live. I mean, I say live, there's a 2-minute delay. You can do ! delay in the chats. We'll let you know if there ever is a delay on stream. So we are on a 2-minute delay. Otherwise, we are getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines. We have the Polish Terran player, the Red Terran representing ROC Esports. It is Spirit. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Canadian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Basilisk. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is Trigger. And again, very intense, very impressive play there by Spirits, at least initially in that last game. And we'll see if he can keep that up. For now, moving out with his initial SCV and getting ready for the eBay block. A cheeky move here from Spirit. Does move out. Spirit moves in. There we go. The eBay block has begun. Now, thankfully, Trigger, he does scout this ahead of time so he can respond. The boys are being pulled, and Trigger, he should deny the eBay. Basically, the purpose of this block is to get enough progression, get enough HP on the eBay to force Trigger to expand elsewhere at another expansion. But thankfully, Trigger, he sees it ahead of time. He pulls a couple of workers, and he will force a cancel before the eBay really becomes a problem. As the SV is zoned away, and the eBay is cancelled. So again, nice scouting, nice response here by Trigger. This could have been so much worse, as Trigger could have been forced to expand at the third. So Trigger, he will stabilize, and likewise, Spirit expands. From here, we're settling in. A spirited performance. Oh no, all the puns in the chat. You could say he was triggered. No. Not like this. Bit of an upset. I mean, kind of. Like Spirit, I would say the Spirit and Trigger are quite comparable in skill. In my mind, I can see this going to the ace match. Easily. I can easily see this going to the ace match. But I will say that Spirit was looking very impressive last game. Very impressive, very dominant. More so than I would have expected. That I will agree with. Trigger once again going for a Twilight Council opener. Spirit did go for a more economic start, similarly to the previous game. Adept has arrived, will delay the CC, just barely. Does delay by a couple of seconds. But Spirit, he does expand. Command center is done. Behind this, going for his own 1-1-1 follow-up. Starport is on the way. Poke in. Does poke in. Hellion goes to the dive again, trying to get a scout off. Getting a read on the tech. Could be a Twilight Council robot or a Stargate. And Spirit, he will confirm. Again, the Hellion dive here is less about getting damage and more about scouting what's going on. So blink here from Trigger. How many gates? One in the main and one at the natural. So 2-gate blink into a third base. Trigger being quite greedy, quite economic. Just like the last game. Are you worried that Spirit will cheat if you don't have a late? No, not at all. It's just a requirement from the tournament organizer. If we want to cast the events, then we do require a delay. Is it that simple? So what am I drop here towards the natural? Trigger, he's ready for it. Likewise, once again, Spirit working towards Stim. Setting up defensively back at home. A bit of a misread here out of Spirit, actually. My apologies. This was 2-gate blink into a third. A greedy economic build here out of Trigger. Spirit, he reads this as a 3-gate or even 4-gate. He's very heavily fortified. 2 bunkers at the natural. Sensor tower as well. A wall off here in the main. More tank production. It almost looks like Spirit, he was expecting the third base to be taken linearly. So he sees no third, and again, a big reaction here out of Spirit. When Trigger's just expanding, he's chilling. Trigger just calming down. Spirit not going for a third CC. Spirit is heavily fortified. There we go. Now going for the salvage. Now he realizes. There we go. He does scout, does confirm the third. Is where the Trigger isn't being aggressive. So the game will continue. Behind this Trigger, rushing into Storm. Storm will be done. Trigger does saturate his third. Spirit is moving out. Oh, likewise coming for the Storm drop. Doesn't commit. Storm is ready. High Templar moving in. Trigger does pull away. Didn't quite commit. But otherwise from here we're just slowing things down. Trigger getting a fourth base, getting saturated, Spirit claiming his third. Both players taking up, Spirit getting into his own ghost production. And likewise from here, Trigger can soon start working towards Colossus, another form of splash damage. So we're coming down, and again, this is a breath of fresh air. So many of the other TvPs we've casted tonight have been just hyper aggressive and all in, including Hero Marine, Gabe, like Bunny, Bjorn. So many of those other TvPs. Just non-stop 2-base all-ins. Which are fun, don't get me wrong, but here we're slowing the game down. There's that Bay, again for Colossus. Trigger pushing forward. Again, he has the Storm ready. 4 High Templar. Does move in. Plays out the mine shot. Zones where the army goes to the tanks. Tanks are going down. Massive pickup. Takes down 3 tanks. And alas, with enough storms, yeah, you can break through. Brutal storms. Zones back to fire. And Spirit just does not have enough here. Oh my god, we were waiting for a longer game set, but that's not going to happen. The storms are insane. And Trigger, he has broken the third and is looking to tie up the series. As he still has another storm. He's still holding on to it. At the same time, Spirit does hit the natural, but only a couple Widow Mines, another storm in the mineral line. And again, behind this, Colossus are on the way, getting the 4th base saturated. Trigger, he was able to strike, and from here pulls away. Doesn't kill Spirit, but it does cripple him. Spirit now down in bases, down in economy. He just barely wasn't ready, needed more time for those ghosts. As we mentioned earlier, I mean, we did see that Spirit did overreact defensively in that previous game. Or, sorry, earlier in this game. Anyone have links to Gumio's match? I don't think it's being covered. I believe we are covering Trigger versus Spirit, and I believe Steadfast is going to be following Ryung into Solar. So from my understanding, I don't think anyone's covering Serral or Gumio's matches. Maybe in another language, maybe in Korean, or maybe one of the other language casts. You might find success there. Otherwise, Spirit retaking his third. His ghosts have arrived. But Trigger has map control. And with this map control, we can mass expand. Now getting a 5th expansion. Maxing out on a ground-based army. Trigger, if he wanted to, he could start to take up into Skytos. But for now, content with Colossus and Storm. And how many High Templar? 6. That's a lot of storms. That's a lot of storms here for Trigger. He's maxed out. And Spirit is still trying to gather his bearings here. Still trying to recover. Oh, Storm does zone. Storm zones away. Nice EMP, very nice EMP. Oh my god, the mine shots as well. But there's still 3 more High Templar. Another EMP. There's still 2 High Templar in the mix. Storm zones. Again, it was an impressive engagement here from the Spirits. Very impressive with those EMPs. The last Trigger, he peels off into the mineral line. Spirit, he's holding though. Does hold well. Takes down the charge lots, takes down the stalkers, bleeds out only 4 SCVs. And Spirit holds. He was down, what, 30 supply, but very impressive hold. A lot of it came down to the EMPs, denying those storms. And Trigger, he backs off. He backs off, he retreats. Second Robo's on the way. Disruptor production has begun. And Disruptors, they care less about your EMPs. So he's getting out of High Templar, out of Storm because of the ghosts. Meanwhile, he has 2 more in the Prism. Now coming in. Oh! Storms a zone. They connect with the Vikings. More High Templar gathering energy. And again, it was, oh my god, a brutal Storm. Insane connection. I was about to say that Spirit, he held well initially, but can he do it again? Last, I don't think he can. Trigger getting into the mineral line, catching out 12 SCVs. Oh, snipes the CC. At the same time, Spirit takes down his own base. Nice draw play, takes down the Nexus. Does force a recall. The army races back home. And this does buy sometimes the Spirit. He's just stuck on 2 bases. There's only so much he can do on 2 bases here. Not just retaking his 3rd. And Trigger, he's maxed out once again. Has remaxed. Here we go. Storm popping up. Sending him back. And like with Trigger just getting to the bases. Pulling Spirit apart. I mean, again, it has been an uphill battle here for Spirit for quite some time. Mine shots going up. Trigger this time, he should have enough, getting up to 3 Colossi. The Viking count is non-existent. I say that there's 3 Vikings. We have 3 Vikings left over. Spirit likewise going for a drop. At least thought about it. It was spotted. Force on load. Ooh, brutal Nova. Other Ghost. Ghost going down. Spirit coming in for the surround. Again, the best fight he can hope for. Diving on the Colossus. Storms a punish. Gets 1. Takes down 1, takes down 2 Colossi. The other 2 rally in. And Spirit, he takes the fight. Oh my god. Spirit, calm down. Again, a beautiful engage coming in for the surround. He flanked the army. But the reality is, behind this Trigger, he has just such a massive economy. He can rebuild, he can remax. These have been impressive fights out of Spirit. If only he had bases. If only he had a 4th base. Aye, aye, aye. As a lesser player, they would have died by now, to be honest. A lesser Terran player would have just toppled and folded. But here we go. Trigger pushing forward. Oh, forcing but a friendly fire. Aye, aye, aye. Some brutal friendly fire. Likewise, we're lacking splash damage. Another disruptor has arrived. SCVs, they cast 24 SCVs. So I'll say cash the mineral line. Spirit floating over his main. Doing whatever he can to keep himself in this game. He's hanging in there. Nice EMP. He pops up, takes down the Colossus. Again, these are nice fights here from Spirit. They're impressive. But now they're DTs. Dark Templar, they do waddle in. Scans are limited. TT in the main as well. Third base is going to go down. And Spirit, he has no economy. He's all in. I mean, he's been all in for quite some time. But now there's no turning back. And GG gets called. Trigger, he will tap the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. We are going to game 3, and we'll see how this story ends. Again, a very intense back and forth. Trigger, for the most part, he did have a stronger start to the game. We did mention how Spirit did overreact and did over-respond, expecting 4-gate blink. With that, he had a bit of a shakier follow-up, getting into his own third base, and Trigger, he was able to strike just in time with his storm, with his charge lots. He was able to cripple Spirit, didn't kill him, and Spirit, he hung in there for a long time. It was impressive to see Spirit take these greater fights despite having a smaller army, despite having a worse economy. It was very impressive with the EMPs, with the engagements. Able to hang on as much as he did. Unfortunately, he never really threatened Trigger just because Trigger had such a booming economy. But GG. GG nonetheless. Well played. That leads us into the ace match. That leads us into a final game between Trigger and Spirit. Let's go. Leads us into that final game. Here we go. So we're getting into the ace match. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our Polish Terran player, the Red Terran, representing RSC Esports, being forced into the ace match. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Spirit. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Canadian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. Tying up the series 1-1 and following this up with a proxy. Let's go. Again, Trigger's been going for very economic openers throughout this entire series, game 1 and game 2, but game 3, we proxy. Oh boy. At the same time, Spirit, he also moves out. I believe this should be for another eBay block. Yep, just like the last game. Setting up for the block at the natural. Meanwhile, Trigger is not expanding. Is setting up. Gateway has been thrown down. Trigger not taking gases. Here comes the second gate. So proxy 2 gates, now taking his gases, not going for any kind of 3 or even flower setup. Now this eBay is actually going to be quite an issue here because there are no gateways back at home. There's no way to deal with this. So this will delay or disrupt any kind of follow-up here from Trigger. SCV does scout, does confirm the gateway is missing. So is the pylon. And Spirit, he's now aware. Has a cyber course thrown down back at home. There we go, safety bunker on the high ground. Again, Spirit, he hasn't scouted the proxy, but he knows that the gateway is missing. So he knows it's somewhere out on the map. As the SCV takes a lot of hits. Does get repaired. And we do have a full wall. So it does fully wall off here at the ramp. Batteries on the way. Delayed CC. And again, Spirit is on patrol looking for any kind of expansion. Proxy Stalker on the way. There's the unnatural natural out of Trigger. This can be abused. Remember, this is not an all-in. This is an aggressive start. That is true. But Trigger, he's trying to macro out of this. Oh, Reaver gets into the main. Gets a probe. One worker so far. Shield whatever he's done. At the same time, Stalker has arrived. 2 Zelts as well, trying to knock down that wall. So far, Nash repairs out of Spirit. Does hold. Does hold, does defend. And the game from here does continue. Now, thanks to this early gateway army here out of Trigger, he can try to delay the CC for as long as possible and contain Spirit for as long as he can. This Reaper still being so annoying. It's going to be dealt with, though. It's He's zoned away. Nice around. Behind the Spirit, he will eventually expand. Trigger trying to saturate as well. I'm trying to. Steadfast is casting a laser versus Gimio. Oh, I see. Which means no one is casting Ryung and Solar? Uh-oh. We might be able to catch that series. Depending on how things line up. Yo, we get the mass repair. It's a rare sight, but again, the cooldown supply has been changed. Can now be used to mass repair depot. Nicely done. From here, we're building up, switching, going for the Atom Swap into Cloak Banshee. Okay. Cloak Banshee on the horizon. Trigger, he currently has no detection, no robo. As the Adept is denied. Spirit now expands. He breaks out, he expands. Adepts, they once again are denied the scouts. And the longer this goes on, the more concerned I am. Where's the robo? Where's the detection? Again, it's not uncommon for Protoss players to skip their robo and delay it and get a faster third base. For now, Trigger committing very hard here to the Adepts. He's going for the kill, going for the break. Bunker's not ready. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled, diving on the tank. The tank is going to be targeted. The SCVs, they cannot get through. An awkward defense here from a Spirit. The bunker does complete. How he gets surrounded. Bunker goes down, tank as well. At the same time, Banshee has arrived. Zero detection. Cloak is not yet done. One more second. We can go back in. There we go. Does go back in. Spirit, his natural is delayed. But the robo only just now began. So zero mining here at the natural. Trigger is on a one base economy. Shield battery almost done. Banshee does defend. And Spirit, he's in a better position here. He's mining on two bases. His Banshees have map control. Another Banshee into the main. Trigger trying to, Spirit trying to figure out what he wants. As he's forcing out cannons, the robo is still just now finishing. Yeah, shuts down the proxy. And Trigger, despite the aggressive start, is falling behind. But he's got his cannons. Cannons are done, but Banshees, they can catch units in between the bases. Observer has arrived. Finally has made it. But Spirit breaks out. Does break out. Building up his tanks. Third CC's on the way. Spirit going for a longer game state. Not going for a two-base all-in. We're calming down. We're expanding. Trigger has yet to take a third, which is a concern as well. Typically, the Protoss wants to be up a base. Unless he intends on being aggressive. Spirit rotating over. Does siege. Charge is done for Trigger. Coming in from behind. Isn't quite able to. That's where he backs off. He sees the attempt to surround. He's like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna just take my lead and run away with it. Spirity Scouts, still no expansion. Azio tries Spylon is gonna go down. Depowers the gateways. Zal say do try to catch the tanks. And he does get one. Barely two. Two tanks go down. Nice pickups. At the same time. Oh. Trigger does find that final Banshee, does shut it down. But again, still stuck on 2 bases. And Spirit, he can soon expand. The orbital is almost done. So Spirit, he still has the greater economy. You can see that reflected now in the army supply. Here, the soup is not lying. It just shows how much stronger the opener has been for Spirit. Just better saturation. Better economy. Trigger working towards Storm. That's still a ways away. And as he builds up Storm, I mean, the Ghost Academy is already done. Just about to finish. Spirit sims in. Nice target firing, taking down 5 workers. Aye, aye, aye. 5 probe kills. Drops into the natural. And even though Spirit did lose the drop, it's still worth it here, considering his lead. Spirit, he can afford these trades more so than Trigger. Once again, going for the proxy. Going for his double drop. Same time, Trigger does punish the 3rd. Spirit's out of position. Has to drop unloads. Trigger does have storms. Oh! Yeah, nice storm in the play. Trigger trying to hold on, does force the pickup. But we saw this in game 1. Spirit, he's moving out with his drops. Looking to once again pull Trigger apart. Trigger keeping up. Oh! Spirit, he does find the observer. Nice snipe. Spirit, he looks to bounce back. That's a massive minefield. Not quite in position though. This Trigger once again, he just goes right down mid, right towards the 3rd. Getting into the mineral line. And Spirit going for the base trade. Okay, let's go. He just sends it. SVs are going down. Trigger, he just abandons the 3rd base. Pushing in towards the natural. Drop gets cleaned up. And Spirit is looking to end the game here and now. Does wedge himself in between the bases, pushing into the natural instead. Trigger, he races back home through the minefield. Oh, High Templar going down. Brutal Storm. Massive storms on the army. Trigger, he shuts this down. He races back home. And Spirit, he's losing his edge. The base is denied. The drop is falling. Massive pickups, losing everything. The entire army. Oh my god. Spirit, he had a lead. He had a substantial one. But Spirit, he will lose everything here. That's why I think it's a Trigger. But Spirit, he'll lose his lead. Still has a decent bio army. But that was so much going down. 19 SCVs, 14 Marines. Also brutal trade. Trigger going for the kill. Oh, nice EMP. Denies the storm. Trigger is stuck with the Gateway Army. No more storms. There we go. High Templar moving in. Storms have arrived. First storm does graze. Another storm zoning. Takes down a ghost. Against Spirit, he didn't have to go across the map. Didn't have to do it. Trigger once again pulling away. It's the last storm off. Trigger does rotate over. Zealot drop into the main base, pulling Spirit apart. Again, that's a lot of storms. Just going off. Massive storms from the bio. Storms to connect. What, 3 more storms left? As another storm is coming in. Trigger doesn't go for it. Zealots are wreaking havoc. Another warp in. Another massive warp in. Trigger getting a 4th base. Trigger pulling Spirit apart. Going for the mineral line. Not again. And this time it might just be a kill. Yeah, it's a kill on the CC, not a lift. There's no saving this. Spirit, he does get away with his SCVs. Does pull away. Dropping back in. Trigger, has he done it? Oh! Setting up for another storm. Quite able to commit. Now rotating back over. Nice EMP. Denies the storm. Trigger has to pull out. Leaves out the Archon. Meanwhile, Zelta go back in. 16 SCV kills. Spirit, he's down to 20 workers, 20 SCVs, barely an economy. Not like this. And again, a crazy comeback here out of Trigger. Spirit, he had a commanding lead earlier. He was up in bases, up in army. And then he chose to, like, quote-unquote base trade. He chose to counterattack, chose to ignore the army and lose his mineral line. Oh. Still has a chance, though, dropping into the main. Like, the army supply is still quite comparable. Spirit, he can still pull this off. Drops into the main. Nice snipe. Takes down the High Templar, snipes the Archon as well. Ah, but he's just being overrun. There's just so many gateway units here. They charge lots of Stalkers. They do punish. Like we've already been here before tonight with Spirit. He's on 20 SCVs. Let's go. Sorry, Spirit's on 20 SCVs. It's been a long day. Spirit does pull back. Spirit pulling back, landing his main, keeping himself going. He has mules, true. He has an economy. Likewise, despite the High Templar, EMPs have been on point. Army's out of position. Trigger going straight for the mineral lines, or straight for the production even. Catching out a ghost, nice EMP. Denies the storm. But once again, how many mineral lines have we brought down? I'm afraid to look. 60 SCVs. And Spirit, he just sends it. He just goes across the map. He's done. It's all or nothing. He once again ignores the army. He ignores the base. Goes for the stim. Takes down the expansion. Oh, it's a massive, brutal storm. Yeah, one storm is all it takes. That was everything going down. Spirit down to 2 Marines. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, again, he was all in. Spirit, he was all in. He has no economy. He has nothing else behind this. 16 SCVs. He has 1 mineral line. He's coping a little bit, Backy. A little bit. As it's down to 1 final orbital. And Trigger is going for the kill. Again, Spirit, he was in such a good position this game, but again, did decide for the counterattack, did decide for the pseudo base trade. Did not work out well whatsoever. Dropping back into the main. I mean, the drop play is still popping off. But GG gets called. Yeah, there's no economy behind this. There's nothing else left. And Trigger, he will take the series 2-1. He barely does pull off the comeback. And Trigger, he'll advance on to the next round. GG. Whew. Oh my god, GG, well played. A very intense back and forth between Trigger and Spirit. It all began with a proxy 2 gate into Spirit counterattacking, of course, sniping workers, dealing with the High Templar as well. Very intense, very back and forth. GG. And in the end, yeah, Spirit, he will take it. Aye. And we did expect an ace match between these two players. We did expect this to go the distance. But did go the distance in more ways than one. And congratulations, Trigger, he will advance on into the next round. If you're a fan of Spirit, do not worry, do not fret. He's still in the tournament. He's going to be knocked down into the lower brackets, where he will have a chance to redeem himself, a chance to make it through that lower bracket into the main event, into the playoffs tomorrow. Again, these are, I believe, the final matches of today's broadcast. We are wrapping up, and tomorrow we'll be back with day number 2. Again, it was a very intense broadcast. How many hours were we live? 15 hours. We didn't quite reach 16, but 15-hour cast. So we had 10 hours of DreamHack, and of course we had the 5 hours of GSL before that. So 15 hours in total. It was quite intense, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. For those that are curious, our next broadcast is going to be later on this evening, but before we get into that, let's go over the bracket itself and catch up on what's been going on and what I've been missing out on. We were getting some updates in the chat regarding the other upper matches, but here we go. Serral takes down Epic 2-0. Solar takes down Ryung 2-0, and Gumiho takes down Laser 2-1. So we have Serral, Trigger, Solar, and Gumiho all in the next round. Meanwhile, the lower bracket matches are going to be wrapped up and concluding tomorrow. Likewise, the upper bracket as well. So again, we are wrapping up here for the day. Tomorrow the plan is to wrap up all the groups. Group A, B, C, and D, they all have kind of their upper brackets ready. I don't know what we're going to cover. I don't think we have confirmation on what the mainstream is going to cover first. As a reminder, the mainstream, they have priority, so the mainstream, they have priority on what they want, and then we'll kind of decide from there. Let's go. So this is going to be Maru versus Creator, Showtime versus Cure. Basically, the mainstream is going to cover one of these matches, and we'll probably cover the other. That's most likely how it's going to go. There are these other lower bracket matches as well. Future versus Hearthstone is going to be a lot of fun for sure. Hormona versus Lunacy, but all eyes are going to be on these upper matches instead. So again, most likely one covered by the mainstream, the other by the side streams. It's typically how it goes. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys had a great time. Again, it was a very intense broadcast, very long. Again, 15 hours of StarCraft back to back. And as I mentioned, our next broadcast is going to be at 7 p.m. KST. That's going to be at 8 p.m. AST. That's going to be in 9 hours. 9 hours time. So I should have enough time to sleep. But again, we're going to be live in 9 hours with GSL. Then that'll lead us into day 2 of DreamHack Dallas. And we're also going to be covering day 3 as well here on the channel. So we'll bring you as much StarCraft as we can. I do apologize, especially in that last series, for again just having some slurred words here and there, and likewise for even like misspeaking from time to time as well. It's just been a long cast. It is 11 a.m. We started casting 8 p.m. last night, and now it's 11 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, it's been intense. Been a lot. And that was all. Fun fact, we just did a 15-hour cast off of 3 hours of sleep, because we were live earlier yesterday morning with more StarCrafts, right? We had GSO in the morning, then we slept for 3 hours, and then GSO, and then into DreamHack. Like, it's so all on 3 hours of sleep. Let's go. We didn't even have any coffee, by the way. Just some water. Just some water, just some food. We made it, baby. We made it. Let's go. So with that, we're wrapping up here for the day, wrapping up for the initial broadcast, and we'll be back tomorrow with some more StarCraft action. From here, I'm gonna go probably get a little bit of work done. Actually, there's a lot to get done, but I'm just gonna go and set up and get ready here for the GSL cast, get all the overlays ready, so I can wake up and jump in. And yeah, we'll see you guys in 9 hours. We'll see you guys in 9 hours time for some more StarCraft, or in just more than that for the DreamHack Dallas cast. When it comes to GSL's broadcast, we are going to be going over the final qualifying matches of GSL Season 2. It is a replay cast, not a live cast, a replay cast that we're going to be going through, and then live coverage of DreamHack Dallas, of course. So again, plenty of StarCraft here on the channel. Again, for those who are curious, we cast more than any other channel out there, more than Wardy, more than Steadfast. We are live more than anyone else. We have the quantity and we have some of the quality as well. So if you're curious, if you enjoy the casting, if you want some more, then we got you, because we are live every single day, multiple times a day here on the channel on the CranKy Ducklings. Whether it's here on Twitch or over on YouTube, you can follow us there as well if you wish. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis, so plenty of content over on YouTube. Exclamation mark socials in the chat. We also have a Patreon. For those who do not know, we do host events on a regular basis, and 100% of the money on Patreon goes towards the players. So we do host regular weeklies featuring players like Kior, Solar, Björn, Skillus, Geralt, Cristiano, Nikita, and many others. So again, we do feature those players on our channel on a regular basis, so if you want, you can support us. Otherwise, a follow is all that we ask. Thank you. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much for resubscribing. Spike Goots in the chat for 2 months. Thank you, baby. Thank you. God. Thank you so much for resubscribing. We do appreciate it. And again, we still have an entire month of StarCraft ahead of us. For those that are unaware, after DreamHack Dallas, what do we have? After 2 days, EWC qualifiers. The EWC qualifiers, the regional kind of server-based qualifiers, are right around the corner after DreamHack Dallas, and then bam, GSL Season 2, and then bam, Star Zagora, and then Home Story Cup, and Cheesadelphia, and the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit. There's just so much StarCraft on the horizon. We even have the Latin American StarCraft 2 circuit as well. That's also around the corner. Our schedule is jam-packed. 2 casts a day, every single day for the most part, all here on the CranKy Ducklings. Very busy schedule, very busy. So yeah, lots to look forward to. I know that Euthermal has got his own 2v2 circuit as well that we also do cast. So there's a lot of StarCraft 1v1, 2v2, StarCraft Evolution, all things StarCraft. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft, or again in 9 hours. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Check out the mainstream. Drew, check out the mainstream. They also have you covered. Shout out to Zombiegrub, Pig, alongside Loco and Wardy for organizing and for bringing you some StarCraft over on the mainstream. Shout out to Steadfast. I know that Steadfast, he's also been co-streaming as well, so shout out to Steadfast. I think it's only Steadfast and us that are casting in English, that are co-streaming. I don't think I've seen Chickenman or Dave Testa or any of the others yet. I'm not saying we won't. They might step in a little bit later, but for now it's just been ourselves and Steadfast trying to split up and spread out and cover as much as we can. So big shout out to Steadfast as well for the work that he's been putting in. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.